Okay, so I want to talk about a failure I just had. I'm glad I can recognize it as a failure because, to be honest, I thought I was doing something right at first. But you just listen and hear me out, please. So, the gentleman that is my roommate for the time being and working with me, the other night he walked in and he was very upset about the whole situation, had a rough drive down here and everything. And after about an hour of him complaining about that, I decided, you know what, let's change the subject. I'm going to talk about work and maybe get his mind off of everything. And so we started talking about work, and like, there's a sales element to my job. It's actually my job, basically. I am a salesman and project consultant, and he was talking about doing work and trying to make good profit margins, and which is business. Good profit margins are good profit margins. I'm not upset with that. But where I started to get irritated was the language that he was using to describe the people that he was essentially ripping off. He was using disgusting language, so I'm not going to say it, but he's describing them by their appearance using horrible language, not their character. So we'll just leave it at that. And this morning, I'm sitting down, I'm reading my Bible, I'm writing, getting some stuff off my head. And he's standing here, and we're at the same time we're discussing work and everything. And he says to me, makes a statement. He says, I don't do this job for the money. I do this so I can walk around and talk to people every day and talk about Jesus and glorify God. And now that's great, but with me hearing what I heard him say the night before, I had to ask him. And I told him, I said, hey, please don't get offended by this, but I got to ask you a question. I said, how can you say that's your first and foremost position and calling, but you're saying these types of things about groups of people? And he got offended, and he immediately started to say he never said it and that I was a liar. And where I went wrong is when he called me a liar and said that he never said it and everything. I felt like he was insulting my intelligence. He was calling me a liar, and that's when I got offended, and that's when I failed. I thought I was standing up for what was right.